The day the characters came to life. It was an unremarkable afternoon in the town of Black Hollow. The air was thick with the scent of autumn as leaves danced carelessly to the ground, painting the streets in hues of orange and brown. Most of the kids in the neighborhood were to be found at home finishing up their homework, absorbed in screen time with the latest shows and movies. Their childish laughter echoed faintly. A beer canteen sensation filled the air. That was until reports started trickling in about the missing mascot characters from their favorite franchises. Milo the monkey, from the Jungle Jive series, had disappeared last week, vanishing from the local mall during a meet and greet. Then, just a few days later, Ruby the racer, from Turbotail Adventures, went missing during a town festival. The town buzzed with concern, as many children had taken pictures with these beloved characters only to find them gone. Speculations ran wild. What was happening? As night fell, the uncertainty transformed into dread. Emma, a 15-year-old girl who had always loved the safety and nostalgia of cushy mascots, sat in her room scrolling through videos of the missing characters. There was something soothing about these memories, about the laughter they once evoked, but each time she refreshed the screen, another name appeared in the news, another mascot vanished. She turned from the light of her phone to glance out her window, illuminated by the ghostly light of the moon. It was then that she noticed something strange, a flickering light coming from the town square. Intrigued yet unnerved, she decided to investigate. Emma grabbed her jacket and headed into the chilly night. As she made her way to the square, the wind whispered unsettling secrets, causing her to shiver in more than just physical cold. The square was sparsely populated, with only a few flickering lampposts throwing distorted shadows against the buildings. The source of the light began to grow more intense, followed by faint sounds, giggling, then a mocking, eerie laughter that filled the air, sending chills down her spine. "Anyone here?" Emma called, her voice echoing hauntingly. The laughter stopped, replaced by an unsettling silence. She cautiously approached the old fountain at the center, which was suddenly aglow with vivid colors, blues, reds, greens, as the missing mascots began to materialize, morphing out of the shadows in waves of grotesque caricature. "Milo?" She barely breathed, recognizing the once cheerful monkey now twisted into a sinister version of himself, teeth bared and eyes aglow with malevolence. "What happened to you? Wanna play, Emma?" Milo's voice echoed with a chilling harmony, a mocking tone lacing his words. The other figures appeared. Ruby was now a monstrous, flame-eyed racer, the costume fragmented and soaked in malice, a parody of the joyful character Emma had idolized. They were all there, a cavalcade of terror, their once pleasant shapes contorted into monstrous versions. It was clear they were not the mascots the children had loved, they were harbingers of something wicked. With an inhuman shriek, the creatures lunged toward her, their smiles wide and faces gleefully distorted. Emma stumbled backward but quickly regained her footing, running toward the direction of home. She could hear the cacophony of scratchy laughter behind her, sticky fingers reaching out to her, a chorus coaxing her to join them. They were more than just missing characters. They embodied the laughter and innocence of childhood twisted by something much darker, something that wanted to feed off fear. Emma raced past living nightmares, her heart pounding as she dashed through the deserted streets, every shadow feeling like an arm reaching for her. Suddenly, a bright spotlight turned on from above, engulfing her in a halo of safety momentarily. It was a local searchlight, scanning the streets in hopes of locating the missing constructs. Taking the chance, she ran straight toward the beam, her safety within reach. But the mascots converged behind her, their laughter turning into screams of rage. A loud crash erupted from the fountain as Milo lunged forward, darting toward Emma with a swift movement, pulling her into the darkness of the alleyways. Just as she thought her life was extinguished, a burst of energy surged forward as the searchlight beam grazed the mascots. Rather than dodge the light, they were repelled as though it burned them, squealing in agony, retreating into the shadows, melting into nothingness. Emma stood under the spotlight, panting, trembling in her heavy breaths amidst the silence that fell. She was safe, at least for now, watching as the glow faded from the fountain, leaving behind a still void where joyful memories once thrived. The stories would continue to spin in whispers across Black Hollow. The missing mascots were never found again, their malevolence trapped deep within the cracks of forgotten childhood dreams. Emma knew they would return one day. This wasn't over. In the hushed corner of her room that night, she locked her window and buried herself under a pile of blankets, forever tormented by visions of the ghastly entities that thrived in darkness. Only then did she learn. Good memories can sometimes morph into plagued nightmares, and joy can breed horror in the silence of night.